favorite places on my property is my little breezeway. It's right between my house and my shed, and it's about 5 feet across. The light just comes down in a little sliver, and all my plants love it in here. So what happens is when the sun is lower in the wintertime, the sun comes over here and it's lit here. But in the summer, when the sun's pretty high, this overhang blocks the light down to about here, so I have light here. So this light's bouncing into my window, but it's kind of low. So I'm going to show you later on how to get this to be a higher light and get some beautiful window light. So there's lots of simple little spaces like this that can be beautiful lighting and beautiful control using the right lens and the right reflector and just understanding light. Okay, so we're gonna do some window light now. I'm set up inside my house. Now remember, this is my tiny house. It's only 700 square feet. If I can do this, you can do this. So my little dining room is here and living room. And I'm actually gonna turn on these lights just a little bit, just for mood. I'm actually not sure if they're in the shot, but they are in the shot. Okay, so I want window light, and the window light is coming in kind of nice, but the thing is, the light is shining on the wall down below, so the light's coming from here and it's not from up above. It's also a brown wall. So the brown wall is diminishing the light output. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna modify this to make it even better, and you're gonna be amazed at how easy this is. So if I were to do this right now with this lighting, I'm already set up, this looks gorgeous with the flowers in front, flowers behind. I'm actually at ISO 400 and I'm at 2.8, so I have a nice shallow depth of field, and I'm at an 80th of a second. So this is actually an okay exposure. It's going to be totally different though whenever we change the light out there. So let's take a look. Oh, I didn't notice that my white balance is shade. I think I'm going to put it on auto. Yep, nope, that's a little bit cold. I think I might have to do sunlight. Sunlight is better right there. I could do custom, but we're gonna do that in a different video. Okay, so my goal here is to move my light from down below to up high, and we're just gonna use a reflector, a really big one. So right out here, I have this insulation board. It's silver on one side, it's white on the other. It's got ugly writing, but it's super light. It's just a big piece of foam. I got it at Home Depot. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stand this up right here. If I had a spare person to hold it, I could do that, but it actually leans right here. Now it's catching the light from up above, and now instead of my light reflecting down below, it's all up there. So let's go inside, and wow, look at the difference on Cassie. So now the light is coming from up above. It's way more light, much more specular, but still really soft because it is a white board. This is like magic. Okay, so now we have a completely different look. I have my camera still set up here. I'm still at the same exposure, and look at the zebras. It's like totally blown out on her arm and her face. And I am going to change my exposure. 160, you know what? I can even take my ISO down to about 200. Oh, that's much, much better. So I'm still at 2.8. I always want to shoot at a shallow depth of field because I want my background out of focus and I want her in focus. So I changed my shutter speed to about 160 and I went down to 200 ISO. So that looks beautiful right there. What a difference. And the angle of light is so much more attractive. So looking at me right now, I'm going to have you just go ahead and put your arm down. There you go. But I like the leaning. Yeah, that looks good. How about elbow that way a little bit? Yeah. So right now she has split light. All the light is on one side of her face and the other side is shadow. So I'm going to turn your face towards the light a little bit. Right there. That's beautiful. So that is Rembrandt light. You got a little triangle of light on her cheek on the right hand side, which is her left. And that is so beautiful. That's gorgeous light. Now I'm going to have you tilt the top of your head that way just a little bit. There you go. Very beautiful. I love these flowers. Of course, they're from your mother. Anyway, so I'm zooming in just a little bit more. Oh, that's gorgeous. So that was such a simple way to improve the light. Just put a big reflector up there. So let's do some different stuff. I'm going to have you stand up and let's see. So, oh, it's a touch lamp. There we go. I think I'm going to have you stand here and I need your face going towards the light, otherwise it's too split. So I think I'm just gonna have you lean on your elbow right here and turn your face that way. And I think I'm gonna have you just look out the window, and I'm guessing on where the flowers should be. Let's try that. Ooh, she has those killer eyes going. Oh yeah, this is really pretty. So I'm changing my angle over here. Let's see. Changing my angle over here. I still want the flowers in the background. And am I still in the camera view? Oh, okay, good. If I go this direction, it's taking these flowers that way and those flowers that way, so it's sandwiching her in between. So I have a foreground, midground, background. So that's how we're getting more 3D to our images. Now, I think the flowers are a little bit much, so I'm gonna bring them farther forward. They're gonna be softer, out of focus. The other flowers are way back there, they're much darker. And that is beautiful right there. Now, it would be nice to have a little bit of a kicker light on her hair. So this is like a little bit extra. If you have a situation that works, I would love to have a little bit more light here, just to give some separation here, little hair light on her hair. My front door is right there. So I know there's light coming in, and if I open that door, ooh, there's a little bit more light. Now earlier it was much brighter because the sun was shining right there on my porch. Now it's not on the porch, but it's probably putting just a little bit of a rim light. So there's a lot of times you can open up another window or a door just to bring in that little kicker light. We call it a kicker light, and it just gives a little bit of separation so that there's more dimension to the image. Yeah, it's there just a little bit on the back side of your arm. And oh, you know what? It lights up the wall and the flowers a little bit too, so they're not in a black hole. That looks really nice. So that's beautiful right there. The only thing I'm not crazy about is the big wall portrait coming out of your head. That's easy to fix. Boom, take that down. Mucho better. Okay, so that looks really nice right there. And I'm gonna have you straighten up your top just a little bit right there. And maybe put your hand in your pocket, maybe just your thumb. Just fake it, that'll work. There you go, that looks beautiful. Bring your eyes towards me just a little bit, right there, actually farther away, right there. Oh, I love the catchlight in your eyes. And then keep your face where it is, but yeah, look at me just like that. That's so beautiful. Turn your face towards me just a little, and nice soft smile. That's gorgeous. You're so photogenic. I love it. Okay, so just for kicks, I'm gonna have you turn away and put your elbow back. Yeah, okay, so this is a totally different look. And I love the serious look on this. Makes such a difference. Okay, that's gorgeous. And look right here with your eyes. Yes. And I gotta zoom in just a little bit more. I'm gonna do a vertical. There you go. Zoom in right on those eyes. Wow, this is gorgeous. So she's got a burgundy shirt on. There's a little bit of burgundy way in the back out of focus with those flowers. And I'm shooting right over these. The screaming yellow is not a part of this picture. But that is gorgeous right there. Cutting the top of her head off. Amazing killer eyes. You got your mama's eyes, girl. Okay, that was awesome. Yay. Okay, so I just reviewed the images with Cassie, and we loved them. But the very first image that we took with just the light out the window, not the reflector, was a lot less light, and that means the inside of the house was more lit as far as the ratio goes. So the brighter your main light, the darker everything is in here when you adjust for that. So I decided to go ahead and take a couple with just the plain old window light, with just the light bouncing on the tan wall, just because it's soft light. Now, there was plenty of light to shoot. I was shooting at 400 ISO, so I'm gonna put it back to 400 ISO and 2.8, and I'm still at 160, so that is gorgeous, but the room is so much lighter, and it gives it a more high-key look. So let's take a couple images like that, and we'll see which ones we like the best. Also, the yellow flowers are so bright, I think we're gonna tone those babies down by taking them out of the picture. Yeah, I agree. This is so beautiful with the softness. Now, one thing you can do if there is a lamp in the picture is turn it on. So my little lamp back there, it's off. It's daytime. But turning it on just gives it a little bit of glow. You just barely see it. And that just gives a little bit of dimension to the image. Oh, I like that. A little bit of warm, plus it lights up the flowers just a little bit. That's gorgeous right there. Now we have a little bit of mix of color because that's a warm light and this is cool light, but it gives it just a beautiful, warm, homey glow, which is nice. So I'm gonna have you lean into your elbow just a little bit more. Yeah, and turn your face more towards the light. Yes, just like that. That's beautiful. Your hair, your dark hair and your dark shirt really stands out against the lighter inside of the room, which I like. Actually, that's a great way to draw attention to beautiful hair is by putting it on a contrast. Okay, so I really love your serious look. Bring your chin towards me and face towards the light. I'm gonna shoot this way. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous. Now I'm thinking the yellow flowers in the back are too light and they're distracting me. So for these, I'm gonna turn the light off. And then it's going to focus a little bit more on her. Oh yeah, much, much better. Wow, that's so gorgeous. All right, you can smile, girl. You have such a great smile. All right, that's a wrap. Just for visual, I want to point out to you the difference that this makes when it comes to the light coming from the window, if it's high or if it's low. While it seems like it might be a little being picky over how the light is coming like 2 or 3 feet higher than another source, but I really want you to see the difference in these two pictures. So when you look at the picture on the left, it's far more dimensional, 3-dimensional, because we have a highlight and a shadow side that's more dramatic. The one on the right, which is just the natural light coming through the window without the extra reflector, it has a ratio of light, but it's much softer. But here's the most important thing. The difference between the light coming from below bouncing against the wall or the light coming from up high bouncing against the reflector. So the image on the left, the light is coming from up above and it's shining over her nose, and notice the triangle of light on the top of her cheek. That makes her cheek more rounded looking and more dimensional. That's also classic Rembrandt light, and that is pure excellence when it comes to portraiture. Now when you look at the other image, notice where the highlight is. The light's coming from down below, so it's shining past the nose onto the lower part of the cheek. So when you look at her cheeks, one is kind of lower and the apple of her cheek is down by her mouth, where the other image, the apple of her cheek, which is the rounder part, is up by her eye. And so you can just see the highlight, whether it's up by the eye or down by the mouth. And it just gives a completely different look. Now, both of them are properly exposed and both of them are beautiful portraits and both of them have a ratio of light, highlight to shadow, and they look 3-dimensional. But clearly, the one with the light coming from up above the horizon, shining down onto the face, is a more attractive way to light a face. Anyway, you can also look at the other shadows, like her neck being in shadow, and those are the kind of things that make a person look slimmer, and also the catch light in the eye is better. And it's all those little subtle differences that make the difference between good and excellent.